Have you ever felt the eerie chill of a place where countless souls once clung to life but never made it out? Welcome to Waverly Hills Sanatorium, where the walls don't just whisper, they scream. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, located in Louisville, Kentucky, stands as one of America's most haunted places. Its imposing architecture and tragic history make it the perfect backdrop for tales of restless spirits and ghostly apparitions. Built in the early 20th century to house tuberculosis patients, this massive structure has seen thousands of deaths, and the echoes of those lost lives still seem to linger within its decaying walls. A place of despair. In the 1920s, tuberculosis was a rampant and deadly disease with no known cure. Entire families were wiped out, and communities lived in fear of its spread. Waverly Hills Sanatorium was established as a state-of-the-art facility to isolate and treat those afflicted. However, despite the best medical care of the time, the death toll was staggering. It is estimated that over 60,000 people died within the sanatorium during its years of operation. The most infamous part of Waverly Hills is the so-called body chute, a long, dark tunnel that was used to discreetly transport the dead out of the building. The sight of so many bodies being carried out day after day was demoralizing for both patients and staff. To prevent this grim reality from further crushing the spirits of those still fighting for their lives, hospital administrators decided to use the tunnel to remove corpses unseen. This tunnel has since become a focal point for paranormal investigators, who report hearing disembodied voices, footsteps, and even seeing shadowy figures lurking in the darkness. Ghostly encounters. Visitors and paranormal investigators have documented countless eerie experiences at Waverly Hills. One of the most commonly reported sightings is that of a young girl who is often seen running through the hallways or peeking around corners. Some believe she was a patient who succumbed to tuberculosis at a young age, her spirit forever trapped in the place where she spent her last days. Another chilling figure is that of an elderly woman, often described as being shackled in chains. Witnesses claim to have seen her wandering the halls, crying out for help. When approached, she vanishes into thin air. Many believe she represents the patients who were subjected to harsh treatments or even experimentation. Room 502 is perhaps the most infamous spot in the entire sanatorium. According to legend, a nurse who worked in that room committed suicide by hanging herself from a light fixture after discovering she was pregnant out of wedlock. Some versions of the story suggest that she was driven to despair by the cruel treatment she received from her colleagues. To this day, people report feeling an oppressive presence in the room, and some have even claimed to see a figure hanging from the ceiling. The paranormal evidence. Numerous paranormal investigations have been conducted at Waverly Hills, and the evidence gathered is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, captured on audio devices reveal voices that seem to respond directly to investigators' questions. Thermal imaging cameras have recorded cold spots in rooms with no plausible explanation, and motion detectors have gone off in empty hallways. One of the most famous paranormal encounters occurred during a televised investigation, where a camera crew captured what appeared to be a ghostly figure peering out of a window on an upper floor. Upon inspection, the room was empty, and there was no way anyone could have entered or exited without being seen. The lingering energy Waverly Hills Sanatorium officially closed its doors in 1961 after the introduction of effective tuberculosis treatments rendered such facilities obsolete. Over the years, it has served various purposes, including as a geriatric hospital, before finally being abandoned. Despite its long period of disuse, the building's dark past seems to cling to it, and its reputation as a haunted hotspot only grows. Today, Waverly Hills is a popular destination for ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike. Guided tours are available, offering visitors a chance to experience the eerie atmosphere firsthand. Many leave convinced that they have encountered something beyond the ordinary, a cold touch on their shoulder, a whisper in the dark, or the unmistakable feeling of being watched. Why does Waverly Hills remain haunted? Paranormal experts have offered various theories as to why Waverly Hills remains such an active site for ghostly phenomena. Some believe that the sheer number of deaths created a kind of psychic imprint on the location. Others speculate that the emotional trauma experienced by patients and staff alike left behind an energy that refuses to dissipate. Skeptics, of course, argue that many of the so-called sightings can be attributed to suggestion, the power of the imagination, or natural explanations such as drafts and creaky floorboards. Yet, even the most skeptical visitors admit that there is something unsettling about the place, something that cannot be easily explained. A final warning. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing is certain. Waverly Hills Sanatorium is a place with a heavy history, and those who visit often leave with stories of their own. So if you ever find yourself in Louisville, Kentucky, and you're feeling brave, why not take a tour of Waverly Hills? But be warned, you might leave with more than just memories. After all, when a place has witnessed so much suffering and death, who's to say that some of that darkness doesn't linger, waiting to be discovered by those bold enough to venture into the shadows? This was the story of Waverly Hills Sanatorium, one of the most haunted places in the USA. Its tragic past, coupled with countless eyewitness accounts of ghostly encounters, makes it a must-visit for anyone interested in the paranormal.